So I'm gonna have breakfast right now, Tibetan Himalayan breakfast. This is called
Samba.
samba.
Butter tea and samba.
Here.
Yeah.
This is called
Samba.
samba.
We eat Tibetan people, we eat
yeah.
Himalayan people, we eat samba in morning.
Yes, in the morning.
Yeah, good for health.
Yes. And it's basically barley mixed with butter
Butter.
and salt, right?
Yeah, and salt.
Salt,
If
yeah.
if you like the sugar, you can add sugar also.
With sugar, yeah,
But
yeah,
we usually only butter and the salt.
yeah. And butter and salt.
Butter tea and this.
And it's very healthy. It's full of protein.
Very
Very good, very good, yeah.
In the mountain, we use only this.
Yes,
Very easy.
yeah. And this is Master Sangye Lama. And he's the one who's running this retreat over here.
Welcome to
Yes.
my new retreat
Yes.
in Yolmo.
Yeah. He's very wise, very nice, very kind.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. And also Master Lama Nechun as well. He's
Sikkim,
from Sikkim in India.
India. Yeah.
He's Nepalese, but he lives he's in India.
He been many practice in this area.
In this area.
before.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He's also very kind and very helpful. Thank you. Very, very beautiful people. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm going to show. So this is also butter tea. So this is also staple Tibetan drink, which is tea, black tea, and mixed with butter,
Yeah.
salt, and
The tea is from Tibet.
yes,
Butter is from here.
yeah.
Salt is from India.
Oh, salt's from India.
Three.
Oh,
That is very
Yeah.
very precious,
yes, precious. Yeah, yeah, very good. Yeah, I like it a lot. Okay, let's have breakfast.
Morning breakfast.
Yeah. So today I'm going to teach you how to do the samatha meditation properly. This is the meditation that Tibetan Buddhist monks practice, and it's different from vipassana. A lot of people might find it easier and more beneficial than vipassana. Vipassana is also important. The monks, the Tibetan monks, they practice it as well. They practice vipassana as well. But samatha is recommended because it helps you with focus, it helps you with being in the moment, and it's much more efficient than vipassana. Because in vipassana, you have to close your eyes and you have to force yourself. And for a lot of people who can't be in the moment, who are always thinking about many things at the same time, because the nature of the mind is to think about many things at the same time. So for the people who struggle with that or who have ADHD, vipassana meditation is almost impossible. It's almost, it's not something you can do, because the moment you sit and close your eyes, you're already thinking about 10,000 things and you can't focus. With samatha meditation, it's a little bit different, and it's more forgiving. It's more, I would say, even fun. Whereas vipassana comes as more strict, more like you have to be disciplined, sit down, close your eyes, and stay like that for 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours. Then you fall asleep, then it becomes boring, and for a lot of people, they don't even see the benefit. Vipassana comes in handy when you have already a lot of knowledge and wisdom and experience, and you want to reflect on it. Then you do vipassana. Samatha helps you to be in the moment, which is the most important thing, because if you're not in the moment, then it's going to be hard for you to find inner peace and to connect with who you truly are. I'm wearing a lot of these scarves or blankets because it's very cold right now in the Himalayan mountains. And I finished doing my meditation, and I want to share with you how it's done. So what you do is you sit in a lotus pose. You cross your legs. Your hands should be like this. Okay. your back should be straight, always back straight. So for the man, the left hand is at the bottom, the right hand is on top, and you connect the thumbs and you have them here at your navel. So both hands come to your navel, to your solar plexus, and they stay here. Your back straight, your legs crossed. And for the women, the right hand is at the bottom and the left hand is at the top. So this is for women, this is for men. Remember that. And here's where the samatha meditation is different, because your eyes are actually opened. They're not closed. So your eyes are open but relaxed at almost a 40 degrees. So your eyes are not like looking up straight in front of you, no. They're looking a little bit down. So not this, but more looking down. Around 40 degrees. Whatever angle you feel comfortable, but your eyes are open, relaxed, not very open, like half open. And you have to have an object in front of you. It could be a statue, it could be a Buddha statue, it could be an object, it could be a symbol, it could be a sigil, anything, because that's going to help you with focus. You have it in front of you. For me, I'm going to show you what I have. I have the green Tara statue, mask, and I also have the Buddhist knot symbol. So you can have any object that... This is not for worship, and again, the Buddhist monks told me this. This is not for worship, this is not for prayer, this is just for something you can focus on. It could be anything. So you look at that object, you focus on it like this, and then the tongue should be touching the upper part of your mouth, like this. You breathe in from your nose, very slowly. You're not supposed to make any sounds when you do it. So you breathe in, eyes open, you focus on that object for as long as you can. You don't do a timer, you don't do, oh, I'm going to do 15 minutes, 14 minutes, 1 hour. No, you do it and you don't think about anything. And you looking at that object and breathing, you're not thinking, you're just looking at that object. You're not visualizing, you're just looking at that object. And you can take breaks. When you feel tired, when you feel bored, you can take a break, do something else, and come back to it. This meditation does not have to be in this form all the time. It could be anywhere. It could be in nature as well. It could be done when sitting. Your legs don't have to be crossed. It could be done when you're in a cafe, when you're sitting in a park, even when you're in the bus, anywhere. And the master monk told me, you don't have to show that you're meditating and do the lotus pose and put your hands like this and show it like this. No. Maybe people, when they look at you, it looks like you're just sitting normally, but you are meditating. That's how it works. This way of like sitting the lotus pose and putting your hands together, you can do it at home, you can do it when you feel comfortable, you can do it near your altar. But when you're outside, you're in a park, you're in nature, you can do it. Just look at a certain object, focus on it, stay there, breathe, and that's going to help you come back to the present moment. You're always in the present. You might be like, let's say in a coffee shop. When people look at you, they think you're just you're just a regular person drinking your coffee or tea, but you're actually meditating. And by doing so, by practicing this samatha meditation, anywhere you go and any time, you are being more in the present moment. And that's the benefit of the samatha meditation. You're always in the moment. So if you feel overwhelmed, if you feel distracted, if you feel like too much is happening, come back to the present moment, anywhere. Again, you don't have to be sitting in the lotus pose. Come back, focus on any object. It could be a rock on the floor if you're outside, or it could be like a photo or a picture or anything. Focus on something. Keep your eyes open, relax, not fully staring, but half open, relaxed. Breathe in and exhale. And that's how you can practice the samatha meditation. You can do it for 1 minute, you can do it for 2 minutes, for 3 minutes. Do it, you get tired, take a break, come back to it later. Drink your tea, drink your water, and that way you're not tired of it. Oppositely from vipassana, where people give up because it's quite challenging. Vipassana is too difficult. So people, they're like, oh, this is too long, I can't stay like this for 30 minutes or 1 hour. Even 15 minutes of vipassana, people find it very, very hard. So this can help you with coming back to the moment. Being in a quiet space like this helps, of course. But even if you hear some noise, or if you hear something like, let's say, some noise from the neighbors or something that bothers you, don't react. It's you practicing compassion. So just be in the moment, keep doing your meditation. When the noise comes, consider it as something natural, as something that's part of everything. Think of it as a thunder. When there is thunder, when there is rain, when there is a loud thing from nature, that's also loud, and it can be scary and even bothersome. Think of it like that. So when that comes your way, when you're meditating, that's also practicing compassion. It's okay. That noise is there. It's part of existence. But you keep your focus, you keep your center. Okay? And that's how the samatha meditation is done. I think it can be beneficial for a lot of people compared to vipassana. And it's more free. You can practice it anytime. There's no limit with the timing for it. And it can help you come back to the present moment. So I'm going to show you, for me, the objects I'm using for now. But again, you can use anything, not to worship, not to say, oh, this is the deity that's going to bless me, that's going to give me liberation. No, just something to focus on. It could be anything. It could be a cup. See this cup where I'm drinking some hot water? It could be this. It could be anything. So let me show you, for me, what I'm using. So I'm using this Buddhist knot. Let me show you. So this object, and I love, this is one of my favorite symbols. It's geometric. It is also sacred geometry, and I love it so much. So I'm using this one right here, and also I'm using the mask of the green Tara. This is the mask of the green Tara. There are many Taras. There is the white Tara, there is the red Tara, the black Tara, there is the blue Tara. The green Tara is all about compassion, love, and helping others. And she's been showing up a lot to me recently, especially since I came to Nepal. So yeah, this is, so I'm using her mask to focus. But again, you can use anything that resonates. And as you can see, because I'm in a cabin, there's no tables or shelves or anything like that. So I'm just using them here because my eyesight is directly towards the object. So when I look at like 40 degrees, my eyes are relaxed. That's what I look at, right? So you can do the same. You can use your altar. Feel free to use whichever objects that work for you. Yesterday, the weather was so good. It was actually sunny. The monk told me that it's been cloudy for the past few weeks, and yesterday was just surprisingly beautiful and sunny, but today it's back to being cloudy. Let me show you this view I have from my cabin attic. Look at this. So it's extremely cloudy. You can't see the mountains or anything. It's just very foggy.